guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and wear test on the new reformulated Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. You guys know this is an OG, a bestseller, and they've come out with a fresh new formula. But before we get started, I do quickly want to introduce myself for those of you guys who are new to my channel. Hi, welcome. My name is Jessica, aka The Mexican Beauty. I make videos on all things beauty, lifestyle, and fashion. I would love for you to go hit that subscribe button down below. Also, while you're at it, please don't forget to hit that notification bell because I'll make sure you never miss my videos. Also, please don't forget to follow me on my other platforms, first being Instagram and also TikTok, The Mexican Beauty, on both of those platforms. Whenever I'm not here on YouTube, I'm posting there 24/7. You don't want to miss me. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for the intro. Let's go ahead and get right into this review and wear test. Who remembers this foundation? This is literally an OG. I really remember it in 2014 when I was graduating high school. That was like when I was like super about it and obsessed with it. And they just came out with this new version, and it's actually really interesting, and I'm really excited because I have been loving their Hydro Flex foundation, the serum foundation that I recently reviewed. So good. So when I saw this was also going to be coming out, I was like, okay, Tarte, I see you coming out with all the foundations. So this is going to be put to the test today. I did purchase this on QVC. It was actually my first QVC purchase. I've never purchased anything on there. They have really great stuff. So I went on their website because they were the very first ones to sell this, even before Tarte sold it on their website. So I was like, let me grab it. And I actually also got the free brush. So I paid, I want to say like $46 for both of these together, like including tax and everything. It's supposed to be a new and improved version of the best-selling Amazonian Clay Foundation, new formula, new shades, a new way to clay. It's a feather light full coverage foundation that wears for 16 hours. It's soft matte, never flat finish, whipped mousse consistency that glides on like silk and wears like iron. I like that. Let me just tell you funny story. So you guys saw that my perfect shade for the Hydro Flex was, hold on, let me pull it up because I literally have so many foundations that I just forget. Okay, so my perfect match was medium tan sand in this Hydro Flex, right? So I went to purchase this. Medium tan was sold out. And I was like, this would be like the one color that's sold out. So I went in with medium tan neutral 36N, and that's because I have been this color in other foundations from Tarte, like the face tape. So I was like, maybe this will work. So I'm hoping it does because I ordered this online, but now I'm seeing that Tarte does have this foundation available now to purchase on their website, and the shade that I am, which is typically the medium tan sand, is available. So that's just something to note. I'm quickly going to apply our primer. So I'm going to be using the Milani Supercharged Dewy Primer. This has been one of my go-to favorite primers. I feel like it's so perfect to really give your skin that hydrated finish. It does say on the title that it's a dewy primer, but honestly on me, it doesn't go on dewy. So I don't think it's dewy. And I do have combination skin, so that's just something to note. Oh, something else in case you're noticing like little blemishes and stuff. I got my monthly facial yesterday. So that's why they just kind of like made sure to really clean out the skin, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of texture peek through, because they really went in and just took care of everything that needed to be taken care of, and my face feels really nice and clean. And my esthetician was like, you gotta cut back on the sugar. And I was like, I know. I've been so good for so long with sugar, but as of lately, I've just been like really like treating myself. Whenever I have a craving for something, I'm like, girl, treat yourself. So I think I'm gonna go back on my super health kick journey. We're gonna go in with the foundation. So on one side, we're gonna be doing a brush, because we have this fabulous brush from Tarte. And on the other side, we're gonna be using our sponge. So let's go ahead and take this out. And here you do get 1.7 ounces. And let me open this. I hope the shade is like good. I mean, it was good for that foundation that I used, but I know that with different formulas, like the foundation shades can be different. So let's hope for the best, right? Because sometimes this like outer packaging makes it look like it's lighter than what it is, so it actually may work. Oh, it does look a little light. Let's see. So it has that nice moussey consistency. Some very like whipped consistency. This may be a cool tone shade. It looks kind of cool. Let's make it work. Okay, we're gonna be using the Araceli Beauty Sponge, and we're just gonna begin blending this in. Yeah, it's a little light, I'm not gonna lie. I think because the formula is different than the face tape, which I did fall into this shade that I got in medium tan neutral, it worked. But this is a different formula. But actually, once blended, it's not too bad. But I would say that if you are my complexion, I would probably go with what we're true to match, which is the medium tan sand. It's just that it was sold out. I'm like, why is it sold out? And of course, now that I have the product here in my hand, it's available on Tarte. You guys can see it looks very, very comfortable on the skin. I think because this is a more full coverage, thicker consistency, I do feel like the sponge really helps kind of push that product in and have it become one with the skin. I do have to say, I love how lightweight it goes on. Like, it looks really, really pretty. So now we're gonna go in on the other side and we're gonna pump out the product. I do have to say, I feel like this product is just very easy to use. I always felt like it was easy to use, even when I did have the original one. So we're gonna be using the brush. Wow, this brush is amazing. I feel like the brush feels softer than it did back in the day. Like it doesn't feel as stiff. It does a beautiful job covering my redness, which is something that I appreciate. You can still see it peek through a little bit, but not like too intense. It doesn't feel like I have anything on the skin, which is another plus. I do have to say, I feel like with this foundation, just looking at it right now, either with a brush or a sponge, it works great. So like if you don't have this brush, you don't need the brush. I think because it is a more fuller coverage consistency, it's able to work a little bit easier than like a lightweight consistency where like with a sponge it absorbs too much of the product. So I think this is about it for me. I don't want to put too much on. Specifically, I do notice that there's a little bit of redness peeking through right here, but I'm just gonna go in with concealer, so there's no point for me to just continue to pack on foundation in areas where I can just apply the concealer. But overall, first impressions, I do have to say it is true to the claim that it feels very, very lightweight, feather-like. Like it doesn't feel heavy whatsoever, but it definitely gives you really good coverage. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm going to finish off the rest of my face, let the makeup just work its magic on its own, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my very first impressions and how this foundation is working with the rest of my products, and then we can go ahead and begin our wear test. Okay guys, so I am back right now. It is 10 a.m. on a Sunday, and I am ready to give you guys my first impressions and thoughts on this foundation by Tarte, and also how it worked with the rest of my products. So first things first, I did go ahead and use a bunch of my favorite products. I'll have everything linked down below in the description box, what I used on this face. But for concealer, which I think is the most important part because it's the other liquidy consistency that's going on the face, I use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is a full coverage concealer and it works really great with the foundation. Because the foundation is so lightweight, even though it does give you full coverage, I feel like it almost becomes one with the skin by the time that we do apply concealer. So you can get away with using a full coverage concealer on top of this foundation as well. You guys can see how nice and even that looks right there, which I am definitely very appreciative of because I feel like sometimes it can just be a lot, but it's not a lot at all. As for how this foundation feels, I feel like the foundation definitely has a very, very lightweight finish, like I mentioned earlier. I feel like it stayed true to that. I also feel like it still does look nice and matte. Not a flat matte like it says. It doesn't give you a flat matte finish. It gives you like a soft matte finish, almost like perfected airbrush. I do have to say that with this foundation, you do not need to use a powder to set it if you do have oily skin or combination skin. I do have combination skin. Typically, I do like to set my foundations with a little bit of powder. I'll use like my Milani Shine Proof powder. But today, I did not need that at all. Like I did not set this face. So this is literally all just the foundation working its magic. And then the last thing I did want to point out, which wasn't my favorite thing of this foundation, is that it did separate a little bit my fine lines. I make expressions, obviously we all do, and we all have like those little fine lines, are part of life. But when I was making some expressions, they did separate a little bit. I think because it is a more full coverage foundation that it did that for me. So that's just something to note. So I just went back in with my sponge and blended it out so that you couldn't see that. But now that I blended it out, it looks fine. But I did want to mention that for some of you guys who may be wondering if it works well with fine lines, there will be a little bit of separation. First impressions, I think it looks very beautiful. I can move on to my wear test. It is 10:25 a.m. Got an early start, and I will see you guys in a little bit. So keep watching because you won't want to miss my final thoughts on this new Tarte reformulated foundation. Okay guys, so I am back and ready to give you guys my final thoughts. Right now it is 9 p.m. and we can talk about, where is it? Here it is. The new Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. So I have to say, after looking back at my In Natural Lighting clip, I really like how the foundation looked on my skin. I feel like it matched my complexion actually really well. So I feel like the color isn't too bad. I definitely wouldn't use this if I did get a little bit more of a tan because I feel like then it wouldn't match. But I don't think the color was bad. And like I mentioned, I think it has to do with the fact that this is a neutral tone foundation. So I already am neutral tone. So I feel like that kind of like helped it not look too off from what I am skin tone wise. So I did appreciate that aspect of it. I also like the fact that this foundation is very lightweight. It doesn't feel like you have anything on the skin when you apply it because it's like a nice whipped consistency, which I think is a different type of consistency than many foundations out there. A lot of foundations tend to be runny or too liquidy. This one is like the perfect amount of like mousse, like a mousse cake almost. Like it just feels so good on the face. I feel like it's a really great foundation. I always liked the original one, to be honest, had no issues with it whatsoever. I really like the fact that with this one, you can really just get a really pretty finish. I do feel like I wore pretty nice and matte for about 6 hours. Obviously now by the end of the day, I'm definitely getting dewy right around the areas where I tend to get dewy, so around the nose. So what I would do next time is I would just go in with my favorite primer stick, which is this matte poreless primer stick that has been like one of my favorites from Hard Candy. You can find this at Walmart. But yeah, besides that, I feel like I had no issues with it. Now I know what you guys are gonna ask me now, like how would you compare it to the Hydro-Flex foundation? There are different consistencies. This one is definitely much more liquidy. It's a serum foundation. This one is much more of a moussey, thicker consistency when you first apply it on the back of your hand. But I think once blended, they go on very nicely. So it just really depends on what you want. I would say if you do want more so of a matte finish, I would recommend going with the Amazonian Clay because definitely will get more so of that matte result. If you want so more of a like skin-like radiant finish, you're gonna like the Hydro-Flex foundation. But I feel like Tarte is really doing it. I mean, I feel like they're really coming in strong with the products and I'm really excited to see what more they come out with. I feel like the color range is pretty good because they do have really great undertones in there. They really focus on that and I think that's great. This is probably one of the closest matches for me when it came to this one. Now the one that I tried today wasn't too bad either because I think they knew how to do their neutral undertones. So those are pretty much all my thoughts. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video where I talked about this new Amazonian Clay foundation. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. It lets me know to continue doing these type of videos for you guys. And I think that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Don't forget to stay safe, stay blessed, and stay beautiful. And I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.